beautiful people, a pinch and a punch for the first of the month. That is pretty new. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I posted something last night that spoke to the idea of looking at the rest of the year. How does it look for you? How are you feeling really about it? And if you've been following my journey of personal growth and in business for a while, you know that I am a deeply reflective person. I'm a big fan of reflection, and I have attributed that sort of skill and habit as one of my hashtag success habits, and as one of the things that really have helped me get as far as I've gotten, to really just be able to stop and assess or analyze how things are going, and then use that perspective to then refocus and realign. And I feel like so many of us are constantly in a sort of reactive state instead of proactive state, and things are kind of like, it's easy for people to feel like things are happening to them instead of for them. And in last night's post I also spoke about COVID. It has been an insane year. It's been an extraordinary year, in fact. And of course, we can say we have all experienced the weight of it, and it's been a challenge for all of us in so many different ways. And so for me, that alone has also been an interesting sort of equalizer, that we have all experienced this immense pressure and anxiety and uncertainty in this really, really messy time. And yet we still have a choice about how we respond and really apply ourselves. And one of the really great quotes that I enjoy by Charles Darwin is, "The species that are most likely to survive are not the strongest, smartest, fastest, but those who are willing to adapt." And I think this is the perfect time. You will have seen on my blog post on Escape for a Reason, if you follow that, I will link that down below, how I've written before about a new month assessment. And so I really wanted to do a mid-year assessment. I'm a big fan, as I said, of stopping, looking. I feel like you cannot improve what you don't measure. And although I am certainly not the most organized person, the most structured person, I'm certainly right-brained and creative and big picture. And I'm certainly also not a perfectionist. I am much more a fan of progress over perfection, which is something that I speak about and do lots of exercises with in my Dreamer to Do It program, which I also have spoken about in my blog. I give like weekly updates on some of the things that we speak about that I think everyone should share. Speaking of Dreamer to Do It, this video, specifically this mid-year assessment, is something that I was going to do in my special Dreamer to Do It group of ladies, queens, ambitious women. But I actually decided that this is so important, this is so me, I always love to do these types of things, that I would just open it up and make a video about it and share it with everyone, because I put together a free mid-year review template that I really want to share with you guys a little bit more about. I will also link that down below and put it on my blog in the pop-up message to sign up to the newsletter. If you sign up, you will automatically get this free mid-year assessment. So that is my gift to you. As I said, I'm super passionate about this. For me, I feel like so many of us just need to be able to see the picture and see how things are fitting together and see how things are going, and then we can move forward. So in that program of Dreamer to Do, I speak of moving from 0 to 1, just 0 to 1, and I promise you the steps of 1 to 100 will be so much better when you start off clearly. So if you are excited about this video, as excited about I am, and about going through this template and understanding and getting the resource, please go ahead and give this video a like, thumbs up, Do share it with a friend, someone else who would probably love to hear this as well. And also be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit the bell notification to be notified every time that I post a video. Give me a comment down below to say, yes, I'm excited, I'm ready. I'm so looking forward to assessing my year properly and seeing how things are going so that I can go better. If you are one of those people who is still looking forward to accomplishing the goals that you set out for this year, as I said in my Instagram post, like 2020 has definitely dealt us all lemons. There is no doubt about that. But because we've all been dealt lemons, I think those who are still willing to make the lemonade, even if it tastes a little different from what you expected, are the ones who will come out of this in the best position possible. And I think we can really set that up. And it starts with our mindset. It starts with being aware. It starts with seeing the opportunities and magic that is lying right in front of us, and seeing like, okay, what went well, what could have done better. I'm already jumping into the content because I'm too excited. But what could we do to be proactive and not just reactive? I think this pandemic certainly threw us all off guard, especially in the beginning of the year. Threw us all off guard. You know, for those of us on my side of the world in South Africa, none of us expected this. As I said in my post, I was still asking my husband in January, when we were watching Netflix, like, oh, what is this coronavirus thing? Thinking it's so far away, and next minute, the end of March, we are in complete lockdown, shutdown, worried about whether we can even operate our businesses. And I was an essential service at the time. I'm in the personal care category because of my Atara beauty store, which I'll also link down below. But we just didn't know. And so many of us, in fact, all of us, were in a reactive mode. Now this is a way for us to really be more intentional, to buckle down, to refocus, to realign, and still hold on to those dreams. I honestly believe that they are absolutely still achievable. Like, the destination can stay the same, but there is obviously now a little bit of a reroute from what we expected sans pandemic. And now that it is here, now that we do know that there is a bit of a new normal, we do have to adjust. I think this is the perfect time to now plan with this in place and then trust the reroute. I honestly believe with intentional action that you can still achieve everything that you have wanted this year. And I don't think you should allow a pandemic, which is just a different type of curveball, of course. We didn't expect this extent, but it is a different type of curveball, which if you're an entrepreneur, you know is always coming. You expect them. It is a hard, bumpy road, and this is just one of them. I was reading the other day, and I wrote this in one of my blog posts where I spoke about how to pivot a product-based business, which I shared in an Insta Live with my friend Matthew Rolt, who owns a platform called the Like Minds Tribe. And a fun fact, just quickly, is that if you're 30 years old, you'd probably have experienced at least 4 recessions in your life. And so these kinds of challenges are cyclical and they come and go. But the truth is, we always can determine how we respond. So without further ado, let's get into how we can sort of review, relook at our year and plan for the rest of it so that we are still able to achieve our goals. Okay, awesome. So this sort of worksheet that I've created is in a Google Doc format so that you can edit it and keep it when and is a mid-year review that is separated into 3 different sections. The first one is reflection, which, as I mentioned, is an amazing way, really underestimated, understated way of improving and starting and kickstarting your self or personal development journey. So in this reflection, we're obviously then looking at the past 6 months, January to June. And by the way, you do not have to do this in the middle of the year. You can do this at any time. You can use it for any period. But obviously, given the opportunity of the 1st of July and also the fact that we are in the middle of a pandemic and so many people are freaking out and feeling more reactive than proactive, this is a great way to recenter ourselves. So just a quick reflection. Some of the questions that are included in here are: how do you feel about the past 6 months? What went well? And what could have been done even better? What could have been improved? Then also just unpacking those feelings. Like, usually we attribute and lump things together and kind of put maybe one word to it. But I think we should unpack those things and really just go a step further and be like, why do you feel this way? And then providing some anecdotal evidence towards why you say these things. Because many times I think we can be quite hard on ourselves. It's worth looking into those things, and there are more questions as well that help you assess that. So one of them is, what are the big or small wins that you've experienced in the past 6 months? I think it's so important to celebrate. I think so many of us kind of like achieve things, tick, 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 and then move on without thinking about it. I listened to a podcast the other day of a female entrepreneur who says she never stops to smell the roses, even when she's achieved a big win, like open her first flagship store or open an online store. And I thought that is no way to live. We've got to stop and celebrate. It's so important for even just our brains to process that we are actually making progress. Also, like, now currently, how do you feel about your current projects, initiatives? What are you happy with and what would you like to improve? And then looking at like the other things besides the work, because we know that we are human beings, not human doings, as I always say. I think COVID has really made us realize what is important, and maybe you'll be looking at this review and thinking, hey, you know, the things that I really wanted to achieve at this beginning of the year were maybe not actually that important or putting a lot of pressure on me, but now I realize that, you know, my personal life, my work-life balance is really important. There are questions about that as well. One of the things that actually sparked this video and this kind of assessment was speaking to a friend recently who was saying that she just needs to take July off. It is too much. She feels like she's all over the place and scattered, and she's really taking July just to restructure and realign in her business, which I think is a brilliant idea. That 1 month investment could be a game changer for the rest of the year. One of the questions that I ask in here is also like, how have you spent your time in 2020 so far? Are you happy about that? How do you feel about that? What has been taking up a lot of your energy? You know, and sometimes we don't realize it until we are forced to think about it, like, what has been taking my energy really? Have I been a balanced person? Or have things kind of, you know, slipped in some of the aspects? I mean, I know a lot of people are in fact more busy, and because we're all working from home, that the lines can be blurred between, you know, work and life or personal time, and it's so easy to just continue on and on like so. And then obviously the last part of the reflection is, would you say that these last 6 months, what you've spent your time on, what you've spent your energy on, have actually brought you closer to the goals that you had at the beginning of the year, your big picture, or further? So this is a place where we start to shift and realign and re-look at the things that we're doing, perhaps without realizing it. Okay, and the next section, the review section, the refocus section, and it's all about obviously looking at what goals you actually had at the beginning of this year. How much progress have you made towards them? Are you on track? And what are your key takeaways? What are your lessons learned? What are your big aha moments where you realize, this is not going as planned as I wanted, and this is a really important moment. I know it's scary for some people to have to admit that and to look in the mirror and be like, actually, stop, wait, this is not going the way I wanted. But you would much rather be doing it now in the middle of the year than at the end of the year when it's kind of too late and you have the regrets. And I've seen these kinds of memes that say, oh, another year of my life is being wasted, but at least it's not my fault. That is not the attitude you want to have. You want to have one that is proactive. And so the truth may be hard to face and hard to swallow now, but I promise you, this, doing it now, doing it earlier, will save a lot more pain and regret at the end of the year. So Then my last section is the refresh section. By the way, if you're enjoying this and you haven't liked this video already, please do help me out and give this video a like. Make sure you subscribe if you're getting value from this. All of my content is towards help and encouragement. I know there are people out there who watch all the time who just need one sentence that is like, ah, okay, great, I get it, I see it. And that is what this channel, my platforms and my businesses are all about. So thank you for your support. Do make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. I've given you a moment. So the last part is to realign and then kind of recommit. So then given section 1 and 2 that we've gone through, then it's the stop, start, continue methodology, which you'll notice from this hair video. I'm obsessed with hair. I'm obsessed with hair growth and hair health. And I actually did a mid-year assessment of my 2019 hair goals, and I tell you, these mid-year assessments are really, really helpful, hence why we're doing this. So then lastly, like, what are your action steps? Knowing what you know, like having gone through the questionnaires, and it will take a bit of time. This is not a quick fix kind of exercise, and maybe you take a couple of days to do it. Maybe you start now and revisit it again over the weekend. But it is so important to actually fill this out so nicely. It's a worthwhile time investment. So I hope that this video helped you guys. I really appreciate your time. Please do share in the comment section down below. Was this helpful? Did I miss anything out? Anything that you want to share with me or ideas for the next content. So looking forward to hearing from you in the comment section down below, and I will see you later. Please don't forget to give this video a like, share it with a friend who needs to hear it, and of course subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks guys, till next time, bye.